Virtual community, April 13th, Plato's Caves. Hi to everybody, and hello to Alex and to Scott and Alma and Emily and Joe and Jeff, Marilyn, Rob, Denise, Shirley, John, Carol, Carrie. Oh, you're showing yourself full screen today. That's wonderful. Betsy Ann, Marcus, Gord, Sherry, Meg, and Derek. Everyone who's here. It's like the regular crowd. I love it. Glad to see all of you. I'm going to ask you to please have 4 pieces of paper. Index cards would be preferable, but 4 pieces of paper about equal sized in a round index card size. I'm going to try something. But before we try that, I have a question for you.
No.
And the first question I'm going to start with is, what's one thing that you are, well, I'll do it 2 different ways. Either one thing that you're grateful that you still have, or something that you really wish to go back to. Well, I don't really like that because then like one's the positive, one's the negative. But that's what I had planned out. So let's just go with this. One thing that you're glad you still have. One thing that you're glad you still have. We'll go with a little gratitude that way. One thing that, you know what, this pandemic, this new normal is really teaching you, you know, I'm really glad I have, and my friend Mark, the one who did the Tell Me What's Good, he keeps telling me how glad he is for his dishwasher. Like he never really thought about how much his now that there are 4 of them in his home at all times, he's really appreciating his dishwasher more than he ever thought he would. So that's a question to start with today. What's one thing that this pandemic, this new normal that we're all in, is really helping you to see? And then if you're just joining a little bit late, not late, but a little later, please get 4 index cards or equal size pieces of paper and a pen or pencil, because we're going to try an experiment in a moment. All right, Scott, what's one thing that your eyes are open to? Like, hey, this is something that I'm really grateful for.
I'm grateful for our house.
Right, in a whole new way.
Yeah.
I love that. Simple, easy, like, wow. Alex, something you're grateful for?
Grateful that I still have a job.
Right? In a whole new, like, our eyes, like that veil gets
And I'm
lifted
grateful
off.
for my sweetie.
I'm grateful for you too.
Yay. Alma, what's one thing that you're like, hey, I hadn't realized how awesome that thing is, and I'm really thinking about it now?
Wi-Fi, because I can talk to all my family all over the place.
Right? Wonderful. Emily, what's one thing that you're reacquainted with?
My walking sticks.
You're appreciating them in a new way.
Well, yes, because I can walk better and walk farther.
It's fantastic. Joe, I see you're working on homework there. Reinterlacing finger after finger until so let's start with that, Joe.
Okay.
Is this feeling the same as that now? We did that on those of you who weren't here Friday. Is this what's going on with that?
Yeah, so it's interesting because it's actually turned into something quite comforting.
Really?
Yes, because everything is so unpredictable right now. It's like, oh, look, Joe, you can handle change because you can do this. You couldn't do that when you first started.
Oh,
and
I love
so
that.
you can change if you need to change something. Now I think is probably the biggest thing I'm learning right now too is that the way I always do things, I can change something. Like yesterday was really hard because I have grandkids, and so it's usually like just a great day and hunting eggs, and then we rehunt eggs because they love the eggs, and then we stuff them with the same old stuff and they don't care. But we have, they do like 10 Easter egg hunts in the same day. Well, we couldn't do any of that yesterday, but what we could do is go sit on their driveway outside, and they stayed 7 feet away from me and I stayed 7 feet away from them, but they rode their bikes and they giggled, and
I love it.
yeah, I was like, well, see, Joe, to be the way you defined it for so many years. It could be different. And it
So
could be
the one thing, the thing that, let's spin that in, the thing that you're taking new eyes and realizing how awesome it is again, what would that be?
flexibility.
Flexibility. Wow, that's a great one. Jeff, what's one thing that this pandemic has taught you? Hey, this is an awesome thing for which I am grateful that I hadn't really considered.
I am grateful for the closeness of my family.
Mm.
We had, because of Zoom, we had over 40 people at our Seder.
Isn't that
From
amazing? You
everywhere,
couldn't have
from-
40 people at a
right,
Seder until now.
From Florida to Boston to New York to Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina. It was fabulous.
I love that. That's fantastic. Good, good, good. Marilyn, what's one thing that you're extra thankful for that you didn't realize you would be thankful for thanks to this gosh darn pandemic?
Meeting Rabbi Brian.
Oh, you had met me before that.
No, I met you before, but I'm grateful because this has really helped me. And
Okay.
the first time I met Rabbi Brian, I actually had a disagreement about something that he said. Remember
I haven't
that?
stopped. I love it, Marilyn. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that's a great answer. I'm going to take it.
Woof Woof wants to say hi. Woof Woof's top dog and nobody's met him before.
Oh no, we have not met Woof Woof before.
Look at his WDS tie.
Hey, what's up?
WDS, help me out. What's WDS?
World Domination Summit. Good conference. Bad
Oh,
name.
I know that conference. My friend Denise works at that. That's great.
Denise who?
Denise Ransom.
Oh,
She
okay.
helps to coordinate it from backstage. All right, Rob. Rob, talk to me. What's one thing that you are now more eyes open to appreciating because of the world we're now in?
Health.
Health. That's a simple and beautiful one. Denise, what would you say? What's one thing that you're more thankful for now than you ever were before?
Cooking skills.
Cooking skills.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Shirley Wayness, what's one thing that your eyes are open to again?
Every time I think of something, somebody says it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not a creativity contest. It's okay, you can repeat.
It's all the things that Jeff said. It's what Denise, I was thinking. I'm really grateful I know how to cook. I'm grateful for my family. Grateful for this format of being in touch with people. Really grateful for, and you.
Good, thank you. And Gord, what's one thing that you're appreciative of now? Really appreciative?
The neighborhood, actually. We've been getting out and walking every day, and I'm just really lucky to have so many beautiful spaces to wander.
Wonderful. That's great. This is good. Gratitude. John, what do you got, bud?
I am very grateful that I'm receiving money every 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yes.
Even though I'm not working. So,
Yeah.
so just in early February, I was presented with a package from my boss unexpectedly. And so I'm being paid just like I'm still working there. But the timing of that couldn't have been better. It was, you know,
That's wonderful.
at the time, not foreseeing what was going to happen with the pandemic and everything. So I'm really lucky in that regard.
I love it. Got some applause going on there. Carol Ox, what's one thing that you're not going to take for granted? You really see.
So grateful for my niece. She arranged a Zoom call that covered everyone in the family, Germany, France, the West Coast, and the East Coast, and told us which time to be on. And she made the most magnificent Haggadah. Let me just hold up the cover.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Haggadah is the prayer book that we use for Seders, and it looks like we have Moses with a face mask on. Computer, a tablet. That's fantastic. And I will just let people know, one of the things that Judaism is it's kind of one of those things that I didn't realize was different until I got out in the world enough to see that there are other ways of doing things. So in Judaism, Passover is the most celebrated of holidays. And one of the reasons we think that's true is because it's done in the home and there's not an official liturgy. There's an official order of the order in which things are supposed to be done, but even that gets adapted. But people can adapt how they do each one of those parts. And so to make your own prayer book, that might seem like an odd idea to different people. That's just how we roll. I love it. I love it. Marcus and Carrie, what do you got there? What are you feeling thankful for that you weren't feeling as appreciative of before? Connection, right? Not taking those for granted anymore. Amen. And Carrie, what do you got?
I'm struggling, Rabbi. I'm struggling to come up with a sincere answer. Some different things come to mind.
I appreciate you not just giving us a bullshit one. Thanks.
I suppose right now in this moment, I'm grateful for peer pressure from my coworkers in the emergency room to wear my mask my entire shift like we're supposed to. I like to take it off and get in the nursing station and get breaths of fresh air. And there's some peer pressure to keep it on.
We're talking about this after.
Good luck.
Oh boy.
Okay, that's I never thought I would hear anyone say that they were grateful for peer pressure, but that's fantastic. I love it. Betsy Ann Barron, my complaint-free friend.
Yes. Well, I am grateful for my health because I've gone through over my life, not horrible health problems, but I am alone. I live alone, and my body structure is healthy. My lungs, I'm healthy, so I can appreciate all the other stuff. I can appreciate the connections that we have and going for walks and being able to stand in line outside of groceries to wait for stuff. And
isn't it amazing how we can be so thankful for little things in the face of such a big thing?
Yeah.
Just wonderful. Ben and Sherry in Canada, in case you didn't know what Sherry this was.
Where in Canada are you guys?
Sorry?
Where in Canada are you guys? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in there.
Oh, it's about 7 hours north of Vancouver.
Oh, okay. I'm just outside of Edmonton in Sherwood Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called the interior.
Yeah, Williams Lake.
Are you north of Vancouver?
About 7 hours.
North of
Yes.
Vancouver. Yeah, north of Vancouver. Yeah.
What would you each say is something that you're grateful for in a way that you had not been previously?
Well, go ahead.
Oh. I'm grateful for all my interests because I will never be bored for as long as I need to self-isolate.
I love that.
Good.
And Ben, what's one thing you got? Well, I'm having long naps, but also I am more aware of the surroundings. I go for a walk with the dog every morning and become more aware of where I'm going and what I'm seeing. We have a nature center just beside us here it's called Scout Island. And so we're getting to see all the ducks and the birds coming back. We still have ice on the lake. So we look out our window right on the lake and see all the birds out on the ice sleeping. I don't know why they do it on the ice.
They can.
Is that Skunk Island? Skunk Island?
Scout. Boy Scout. Yeah.
There goes Emily with her atlas. That's good.
There's the lake with the birds.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, pretty lucky.
And Meg, let's move to you. What's something that you're grateful for that you hadn't been previous?
I'm grateful for my sewing ability. I've been making masks for friends, and it amazes me how happy they are to get a mask.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Great. And it was not something previously that you really had highlighted, spotlighted.
Well, I've done a lot of sewing, but I hadn't done any in some period of time. So this has forced me to clean out the room so I can get to the sewing machine.
I love it.
And just sort of appreciate it, not just for the quilts I make and stuff, but for useful thing.
Yeah. Making a mass. That's wonderful. Calabasas, Sherry, what's something that your eyes are now open to?
Well, on the one hand, I've been through some really bad stuff. My
Yeah.
son was very, very sick years ago. So the gratitude literally is there every single day.
Yeah, gratitude for gratitude.
But on top of that, you called me out on the curiosity, which is so true.
Yeah.
And I do have so many things going on. I'm playing canasta as we speak with a group. But
Nice.
I do have a lot of activities and different things that, I'm and even doing this with a whole bunch of people I didn't know in the beginning who are now like this great, amazing group.
It is wonderful. Great, wonderful. Derek, what's something that you hadn't thought of previously that you're so thankful that you've always, it's kind of like Dorothy at the end of like, you always had this, but you hadn't realized it. What's the thing that you had, which you're super glad for?
I realized I had it. I've got a whole long list of things that I'm just totally grateful for right now. But I think at the top of the list at the moment is the fact that we don't have to go through this without the internet.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's beautiful.
Because I'm 74, so I was there long before the internet.
And Ricky, what's something you're grateful for that you hadn't really been thinking on?
Being able to work from home, being close to my family.
Are all those diplomas in your home?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are all those diplomas?
From most of them are from theology school.
Wow.
That's fantastic. That's just great. Thank you, Ricky. I would say the thing that I'm most thankful for, it would go along with something that Sherry Calabasas said, and others, and also Meg, is I have some skills that I knew I had, but like yesterday, I needed to put up some shelves. I don't have brackets for shelves, but I have wood. And I figured out a way of making it, like I can just make it work. And just my ability, I would say my artistic bent of saying, well, I don't care. I don't have the right materials. I'm going to make something happen. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
You'll make a good Shetlander, Rabbi.
A what?
You'll make a good Shetlander. We're famous for making things that we need.
Oh, okay. I got from the Shetland Islands, Shetlander. Okay, it sounded like something else to me. Is there anything before we try our experiment where you need to have 4 pieces of paper or 4 index cards and a pen? Before we do that, is there anything that's like heavy on someone's mind or that they want to share?
I want to say something, particularly to Alma. There's a woman, and I'll look up the link, that has knit a fence.
Yes.
In the Shetlands. You know her. Okay.
Yeah, I know the fence.
Yeah. I just find that absolutely amazing.
I think we're all going to need to Google knit fence Shetland Islands because I have no idea what that would even look like.
It's lovely.
It's wire.
Yeah, she used what you use for fishing nets.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Everyone got 4 cards?
Yeah.
Did anyone just see that I put on my mask? I couldn't find my
I saw
glove.
you go outside.
Yeah, first time in 11 days and got the mail. And there were actually 2 packages in the separate locker. And I wonder how many days it's been like that.
Well, it's been enough days that all the COVID's off of them.
Well, yeah, the paper it was delivered Saturday, so yeah.
That's great.
I've been quarantining things inside my door for 24 hours but I literally never went down the steps for 11 days until now, and I made myself.
Well, thank you for taking us with you. I did notice the stairs while you were moving, and I thought, well, that's a different angle. I didn't realize that it was brand new, and we're all honored to be able to travel with you.
Oh, you noticed the stairs?
I noticed there was a railing. There was a railing as you were going down, and I thought, well, that was interesting.
The sunglasses and the mask.
And also, I want to do a little shout out to Carol Ox, who originally, when we were talking about hope, reminded us that gratitude brings about and I wrote it in the article a little bit today, the idea that hope can't, that hope leaves less room for despair.
Yeah.
And I can feel it. I feel a little bit like a little awkward in saying, but I can feel it just in like everyone having shared, like there's a little bit more hope. I feel a little bit more buoyancy. Not that not everything's sunshine and rainbows. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Everyone's got 4 cards. Boy, I just hope this is gonna work. I'm gonna ask you on the 4 cards to write qualities, and this is going to be kind of the opposite, qualities that you would like to work on. So I'm going to write patience on my first one.
Me too.
You can write anything you want on yours. You don't have to show them. Just write anything any quality. Do you have some paper, Emily?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, you got it already. So everyone write down whatever it is. This is something that, and then on the next card, write down, this is something I wish I could get rid of. So you're going to have 4 cards. The second one's going to be, this is something I wish I could get rid of. Something I wish I could get rid of. And then on your 3rd card, let's add on another thing that I got to get rid of. Something that, a quality that I don't particularly like about myself. I'm going to write thinking too much because that's what I'm doing right now.
Wait, the 3rd one was the same as the 2nd?
Yeah, 2nd and 3rd. So I got thinking too much. And then on the 4th one, the last one, something I don't like about the world. Something I don't like about the world. Something other people do that I wish didn't happen. And write that one on your 4th card. And if you got different, we'll see how well this works. Again, we're doing an experimental. This is Religion Outside the Box experimental edition. Everyone hold. Everyone have 4 things written down?
No.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm kind of stuck. Would you say them again?
So I did one thing that I wish wasn't in the world. Okay. One thing that I wish I had more of. One thing I wish I didn't have. And one thing I wish I didn't have. Something about me I don't like so much. It really doesn't matter. It might not, this whole thing just might not, this might just be like a,
wait,
we'll go, wow, that was great.
I thought we had one thing we wish we could get rid of.
Yeah.
And then the second card was.
The first one is get rid of.
Oh, guys, you're taking this way too much. Just write down 4 things you wish you could get rid of. Let's do it that way.
Okay. There's not one we wish we had.
Okay, I'm learning a lot already about how I'm doing this.
Badly.
4 things you wish you didn't have in your life. Let's try that. 4 things you wish you didn't have in your life. Let's keep it simple. Okay, hold your stack of paper backside facing because we don't want everyone to have to see it. And if it doesn't work, you're gonna just go along with the ride. So hold them like a stack of cards up so I can see them. We're all doing well. We're still waiting on a few people. It's great. We'll see what happens. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I want you to take your cards, your stack, rip them down the middle so you have 2 stacks. Like that. Everyone should have 2 stacks. I'm going to pin my video so that, okay, you're going to have 2 stacks like that. Now, I don't care which way you do it, but put 1 stack under the other stack. And then cut the cards as though it was don't change the order of them, but just cut the cards 1 time. I'm going to ask you to take the top 1, 2, 3 cards. Take the top 3 cards and put them in the middle of the packet that you had. Then I'm going to ask you to take the next card, the next paper, put it down on the desk. Let's eliminate that card altogether. Now, Sherry and Ben, you guys can do this together. Alex and Scott, you guys can do it together. Marcus and Carrie, take the next card and trade it with your partner. Take the top card, trade it with the other person in the room.
What do the rest of us do?
The rest of us aren't going to do that. I'm just trying to mix this up a little bit. Now, optional, take the top card or 2. You can do 1 or 2. I don't care. 1 or 2 cards. Take the top 1 or 2 cards and put them in the middle. Let's do that again. Totally optional. If you didn't do it the first time, you don't have to do it this time. Take the next card and put it in the middle. Or you don't have to do that. You could have skipped both of them, or you could have done both of those. I don't care. Now, take the top 1, 2, 3 cards and throw those away. See if I can get this to work. Now, today's Monday. 7. We're going to do 7. Everyone count 7 cards from, so do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that was interesting.
Is this a magic trick?
It's like a magic trick if it works. Now we're going to play a little game called, I don't know the order of yours, and everyone has possibly even different numbers. We're going to play something called under away, under and away. So this is how you do under and away. You take the top card, you put it on the bottom so it's under. Take the top card, throw it away. Top card, put it under. Top card, throw it away. Top card, put it under. Top card, throw it away. So everyone should have 1 card.
It worked, Rabbi.
And if it worked, you should take the piece that you threw away that was on the ground. And hold it up, and they should match. Tell me if they matched.
It does.
They do.
Brilliant.
It didn't work. It
totally worked.
It worked for some people, didn't work for others.
Worked for me.
Oh.
So I used my divination skills.
Whoa.
And I said, is this going to work? And it says,
it did.
Possibly.
That's amazing.
So I'm going to ask you to take this thing that you wish to get rid of in the world, this thing that you've ripped in half that has come back to you nonetheless, and to take it and to think today, what can I do to lessen this in my world? The magic trick part was just for fun. I mean, I could have just had you write something
Oh, I
down.
like that.
It's amazing. You just watch me do it, and then these two went back together.
Okay, it's totally. I don't think it adds much to the moral. No, but it was just silly fun.
Yeah.
And y'all know me, I enjoy a little silly fun.
I think that it adds a little levity to things we sometimes take too seriously.
Oh, I love you. It does. And that's kind of my thing, isn't it? It's like, this is just our human interactions. It's not fatal. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's just
You like to play, don't you?
I do like to play. If I have a choice between play and not play, I'm going with play.
Yeah.
Does everyone know what? So everyone has some homework there. Work on getting rid of that thing. Oh, and Alex is showing off she has 2 divination devices. I only have 1. I want to tell you guys a story. I want to try something a little different. I don't think I've told you this story. This is a story. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. This is the story of Plato's caves. And some of you might know this. Some of you might not. Oh, Plato's caves. I'm going to zoom out a little more. There you go. This is the story of Plato's caves. And I particularly like the way that I tell this story. And I'm going to tell it to you. And I think it's going to really fit in with everything that we've talked about the idea of change and being, remember the grid we did with the pot of gold at the top left? And we had what was over here?
Yeah.
Remember we had the pot, we had the change matrix.
The mermaid. The
Pot of
mermaid.
gold over here. Over here we had
The mermaid.
mermaid was down here. Yeah.
Robber.
Monster.
Over here was the robber, and over here was the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that monster gets more and more frightening every time I draw it. And the idea there was that we can look logically at what it is we need to do, and that we can say, well, I know that I should be living a life filled with more love. And I know that I'm going to have this problem of maybe people are going to think I'm daft. And I know that I'm going to have to give up some of my anger. And it was all very, very logical. And I want to tell the story of Plato's caves to show how really frightening it is to change. Change is terrifying. And this is the way the story goes. I need my handy dandy lamp.
Oh, I like this story.
And me and the board. Goes like this. Da, da, da. The story of Plato's caves says there were people. That's the person. And the person is here in a cave. You can't really see the person. And the person is in the cave facing the wall their whole life. And you don't have to make sense of this story. It's not a true story. It's a truth story. So here's a person, and they spend their whole life in a cave. And in the cave, there's a wall, and there's a fire. And the person spends their whole life in the cave staring at the wall. Now, a lot of questions come to mind, like how did they eat? We don't have to worry about that. Person spends their whole life in a cave facing the wall. And that's all they see. And this story goes that sometimes there were people who would walk in between the fire and the person. La, 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 la. And you'll see when they do that, they cast a shadow on the wall, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the guy in this person in the wall, the guy in the wall, the guy sitting there in the cave who can only face forward, can't see the person walking between themselves and the wall and the fire. They can only see the shadow. And this person is a lovely chap. And they say, hey, guy on the wall, how you doing today? And the guy says, I'm doing fine. But the person here, the person at the wall thinks that the sound is coming from the shadow.
Yeah.
Because that's what they see is moving.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing okay. Oh, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye. That's how Plato wrote it. That's exactly, it's like that's a direct translation of it. And the story goes like this. One day, however it happens, this person is freed from the cave. And they go outside and they see the sun. Betsy Ann, I'm going to call on you. What's this person's first reaction when they see the sun?
Oh my God.
Right? We all understand exactly that reaction. They say, oh my God. And then what happens, Shirley?
I think it would probably be fear.
It would be hella frightening.
Yeah, I think
It's not, oh my God, there's the sun. I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Right.
It would be
fear.
It'd be fear. And Jeff, where would this person want to be? Out
Back in the
here
cave.
or in here?
Back in the cave.
Back in the cave.
Safety.
All right. So now let's start with the moral. I'm going to start weaving the moral into the story here. When we have this thing in front of us, it could be that pot of gold. It's scary to change everything. I'm very comfy right here. I don't want to be out here in the sunshine. That sun's burning my eyes. I want to be back here.
Not familiar.
But Alma, there's a problem. This person has seen this. So now while they're sitting here, what's their problem?
They're curious.
They're curious. They think, did I really see that?
Mm-hmm.
And they try to go back to the cave. But John Anderson, what's the problem when they try to sit here their whole life? Hey, how you doing today? What's the problem they have now?
Well, now that they've been exposed to the sun, they have another reality to consider.
They have another reality. They can't sit here comfortably. Oh, how are you doing today? I'm filled with existential angst.
Probably what Plato said.
And this is right from the Greek. I translated this myself. So they have a problem. They can't sit here anymore because they've seen the truth. Let me ask you this. While they're here in the cave, while they're out here, and then they're on their way back, and they see, hey, how you doing, Jim? They see this guy. What do they think about this now?
I'm scared.
They're scared. This makes no sense at all. But Gord, I'm going to ask you, eventually, this guy's got two choices. He can either do what or what?
He's got to expand his worldview, or he's stuck.
He can either expand his worldview, or Ricky, you know how this one is, or he can stick with a theology and worldview that he knows doesn't fit, and he can try to shove everything in to make this, which was comfortable, it's really uncomfortable, but fuck it, I hate this so much. I'm going to pretend that I live here. Some people, and folks, y'all know these people. They're your brother-in-law. You know these people who the truth is right in front of them, but they refuse to look at it. Okay, now when I say your brother-in-law, I actually mean you. That was kind of tricky of me, wasn't it? Okay. So eventually, we hope this person, this guy, is going to come out here. And let's go back to this. How long did it take us, we thought, to go from this to this, where they would both feel comfortable?
Couple of days.
How long is it going to take this dude or this gal to go from here to be all right with this entirely new reality?
Years.
Oh, good answer, Shirley. We don't know exactly, but is it going to be in a day?
No. It took me 83 years.
Right? And I guess the question is, do we all have the patience?
Degree of risk.
Yeah. There's a great quote from Thomas Merton, well, attributed to Thomas Merton, that says, if the you of 5 years ago doesn't think the you of today is a heretic, you're not growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first chapter of Plato's
Say
Cave.
that. Wait a minute. Say that again. If the you of
If the you of 5 years ago doesn't think the you of today is a heretic, you're not growing.
Yeah.
I love that. You see
It's
how
no wonder
we
my
laugh? Say it
No
again, Emily.
Amen. No wonder my family totally think I'm nuts.
Right? Okay, now let's go to that part. Let's go to that part of it. There's a second chapter to Plato's Caves, but I want to make sure we got the first chapter down.
Yeah.
We're going to retell the so listen, guys, I got a master's degree in education, and one of the things that teachers do all the time, we all do all the time, go, you understand, right?
Yes.
And the response is
Yes.
Yes.
But that doesn't prove you know nothing.
No.
So sorry guys, here's how we're going to play. I need us to retell the story, and if you don't have the specific part of it, that's cool. We'll just move on, but let's retell this story. Sherry up in 7 hours north of Vancouver. Give me the stage setting. What are the pieces we need to start this play?
You need a fire behind, and you need a little person facing the opposite way of the fire, which is called your cave wall.
And?
And a tourist.
And we need this guy or gal
tourist
to walk between
the fire
so that this guy can think that this is real. He can think that the shadows are real. That's our setup. And then the story, the big climax of the story comes, and Denise and Tahoe, what happens?
When he goes out of the cave and sees the sunlight,
He goes out of the cave and sees the sunlight. That's the plot line. And then let's talk about his emotional experience or her emotional experience to it. Derek, what happens when they see the sun for the first time?
They're scared.
Scared. And then where does this guy want to be?
Back home.
Back home.
Back at the wall.
But, Carrie, what's the but?
But his life has been changed by what he's seen.
And so?
He can no longer believe in the reality of the cave wall being all there is like he did before.
Can't be comfortable with what he used to know. And then eventually, could be 83 years, we just found out, comes to realize that this is true and everything I thought was true is not true. That's chapter 1. Theologically, this is the notion of when God calls us to leave everything that we knew to come into a new understanding of reality.
That's
and according to Thomas Merton, that happens every 5 years. Let me give you chapter 2. Chapter 2, I used to tell this to all my high school students. I said, listen, you're going to go to college, and exactly chapter 2 is going to happen to you. Chapter 2 goes like this. You go to college. Hold on. Got to make another person in the cave. They were both in the cave. This guy gets out. This guy stays in the cave. This guy eventually, he sees the sun and he goes, oh my gosh, I was wrong. Emily, this part's going to make perfect sense to you. This person goes back. And what do they say to the person who's in the cave?
Come outside.
You won't believe what I've seen.
There's a reality you don't yet see.
They say what?
So this guy who's seen the sun, who's seen reality, who's gone to college and realizes more than they've ever known. I taught kids whose families, they were usually the first kids to go to college. I say, you're going to go to college, you're going to learn things that your parents never knew. And then you're going to want to go back and you're going to want to do what?
Teach.
You're going to want to wake them up. You all know the answer to this one. What happens to this person who, with really good intentions, tries to explain to everyone how deluded they were? Joe in St. Louis, what do these people who are still in the cave say to Jimmy here, who comes back?
You have lost your freaking mind.
That's right.
You've
Plato
gotten too
goes
big for
further.
your britches.
Who are you anyway? You have completely lost your freaking mind.
I should have never let you go to college.
Too good for us now.
Shame on you for
Yes,
leaving
shame.
the crowd.
Yes, you
Plato
are
goes
bad.
even further. You're
Yeah.
you're totally right. Plato
What have
says,
you been smoking?
yeah. Plato says that the people who are still in the cave kill this person to put him out of his misery because he's insane.
That's right.
Cursed.
And they keep their kids away from you.
They used to be besties.
Oh,
Yeah.
When God calls you, when whatever it is, you use the word any way you want to understand it. When you were called to see reality for what it is, you might have to lose everything that you knew. That's a hell of a mermaid, ain't it?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
true. That's true.
Very true. And it's not very comfortable.
It's not very comfortable.
No, it's not
And
very
it could take
comfortable.
82 years.
Yeah.
Who's willing
83.
to sign up?
Thank
I
God.
love it. Marcus is in. Betsy's in. Betsy Ann.
Well, I did
Scott,
it already, so
Jeff,
oh well.
Ricky.
Yeah, right.
I'm out
82
now.
years for what?
It might take 82 years till you understand that everything you thought you knew to be true isn't true.
It only took me 75.
It only took you some. I'm glad you're done. I'm still working on it, folks.
I'm a slow learner, Alma.
So,
It's true.
and the question is, hold on a second. Yes, child. There goes a child. How many of us would like to have been transformed versus how many of us are willing to be transformed? How many of us like to have been transformed
Yeah.
versus we are willing to become transformed,
I'll take the second choice.
Me too.
right?
You can do.
I like magic, and I like to have everything done right away.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not going to happen.
So the past is past. I was not transformed before, so I'm willing to be transformed.
Right?
And
It
no, what
takes-
about the stages of transformation? You get to one place and then there's another little cave.
Yes.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
again and again.
Yeah.
And
Once
this-
you have
this
been
is-
transformed, you're ready to be transformed again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good point.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm tired and I need a rest and I don't want to be transformed now.
Enough already.
There's a great quote that says, "You do not get to choose the crisis that transforms you."
That's correct.
I'm going to say that again. You do not get to choose the crisis that transforms you.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I didn't choose this crisis of having this fucking idiot in the White House. I mean, I voted. I did my job. I didn't get to choose this crisis. And it's transforming me to having to be stronger than I thought I had to be and to be more active than I thought I had to be. We all got to be more. I got to put out more than I thought I had to do. I got to, yeah, okay.
Some of us don't have the same leader of a country.
You didn't even get to vote, Rob.
Thank goodness.
You know what? I tried to vote because I have dual citizenship and I'm about one of 8,000 Americans that never got their ballots.
Really?
Yeah, it's only going to get worse. Ricky, you don't get to, right?
I have an American. I'm an American citizen, and I can't vote.
Right, you're in Puerto Rico, and we know how he feels about Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Yeah. Even
Anyway,
know-
I don't want to get all political.
No, no.
I opened up
You
that
brought
Pandora's
it
box.
up. You brought it
All right.
up.
Let's not talk about the orange toddler buffoon.
Okay, I see. This is why I don't want to go political. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm gonna backtrack
Bad.
quickly.
Okay. We've got his cousin, brother, son in our country. So
Yeah. It's all good.
But
So,
I don't
folks-
think anyone here is going to disagree with you. So
no, it's fine. It's fine. We all have some venting we need to do to move that along. We got venting to do. I'm going to stick with the lesson that oh, wait, go ahead, Carol. I apologize. I talked over you. Say it again. Hold on. Let me pin your video.
Martin Luther King said, I have been to the mountain. In other words, I saw the sun, and now I have to go back to the cave, because he felt a need to make everyone else change their view. And that's why he was killed.
Yeah.
Most of our relatives won't kill us. They will just move away from us.
That's true. Yes, that's true.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Say the last part you said again, Carol. You said our relatives won't kill us, so then we got too much noise going on.
Your family, you might wind up that somebody's going to be so upset with your new view of reality that they might want you out of the way.
And they don't let you have anything to do with their children. Keep their children away from you.
That can happen, and that's really hurtful. It can be really, really hurtful. And I'm sorry, Emily, that has happened.
Been there, done that.
And I know, Joe, you've had some of that going on in your world too. It's rough. It's rough. Okay, I'm going to end this up, and I'm going to thank all of you for coming, for doing, and for lifting me up for these past weeks. I've really so appreciated it. And Alex and Marcus, who are going to continue doing something on tomorrow, keep the community going. I'll come back in. We'll see what happens next week on Monday. I'll come by. I'll say hi.
That'd be great.
Brilliant.
Meditation helps people gain clarity and calm, but the instructions on how to meditate are often constricting, confusing, boring. Well, they suck. I'm Rabbi Brian Zachary Mayer, and this is Meditation is Magic. Join as I teach Stallion and Dragon a bit about mindfulness and the 4-letter secret to meditation. Have you ever thought, I wish meditation were as simple as magic? Now it is. Meditation is magic.
Meditation is Magic is parental advisory, explicit content. Teens make certain to advise your parents. I want to learn meditation with Meditation is Magic. It's explicit, fancy word for clear. Also, the horse dropped the F-bomb.